नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये. But to come back to Naishadiyam, to come back to Tasyaha Samipe tu nalam prashamsu kutuhalan Naishadasya Samipe tu damayanti punah punah. So there they were. People used to go to, says that people used to go to Nala and say that, talk to him about Damayanti, and people used to go to Damayanti, talk to him about Nala. They have not seen each other at all. But generally people come and talk, no, those days. Tayoradashta kamo bhut shunvato tatatam gunan. And although they had not seen each other, some with people going on coming and telling each other about each other, tayor adrishta kamo abhut. Although they had not seen each other, there was some kind of desire that was there in each of their minds. And this love increased day by day. Now, to describe this, he uses in one of the verses. I am hardly taking some 10% of the verses in Nishram. There are many more, but each one is like this in some sense. So there's one verse which describes something, but for that we have to go and understand what the background to that one aspect of the shloka is, which is a story in Bhagavatam. So we'll go to that. We talked about Tayor Adrishta Kamo Abhut, no? And how she was seized by love. To explain how she was seized by love, he gives a sort of shlokam which has got a background story in Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam background story is like this. There was, all know about Vamana Avatara and Mahabali. Mahabali had many sons. His eldest son was somebody called Banasura. Mahabali was a good man. Vishnu, after he was in Padala, Vishnu said, I will be guarding you. He was with him all the time. And he was Prahlada's grandson, Mahabali. His son, Banasura, had 1,000 arms. And he was a great bhakta of Shiva. Shiva Bhakta. Such a great bhakta of Shiva that in his, he could see in Shiva, when Shiva was doing dance, he could have pratyaksha darshan of Shiva Tandavam. And Shiva was doing Tandavam. Our man used all 1,000 hands, he did Mridangam. 1,000. Like that. For Shiva. Banasura. Shiva liked him a lot. But Banasura said, I need some. He said, listen, he said in his own way that, I'm a bit tired because there's nobody equal to me in this world. I've tried. Nobody who can match up to me in war or in anything. I need some challenge. I don't have any. So Shiva said, realized his little bit arrogance has come to him. So he said, you will get your match one day. Who will be equal to me and who will put you down. So that was Banasura. Now Banasura had a very beautiful daughter of unmatched beauty. Her name was Usha. Usha was a beautiful girl, was Banasura's daughter, and they were in Shonitapura. And this girl one night, she was sleeping, and in the night she dreamt of a most handsome prince, a kind of a boy, young lad, with yellow garment and long arms and all that, very handsome, who spent the night with her in her dreams, and she woke up and she couldn't believe it that this was a dream. She was devastated by the dream. And she had a very good friend called Chitralekha. She said, what happened? You're looking like this. She just put her head into her hands and started weeping, broke down. So what happened? She said, this is what happened. I saw the most handsome lad in my dream, and I'm trying to go back to sleep. I'm not getting sleep. I'm not able to. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. She's broken, completely devastated. Now Chitralekha she's a blessed friend. She's had some initiation from Narada itself. So she said, you do not worry. We will work on something. No. It's possible. Have you seen him before? Maybe you have seen him before. Suddenly it's coming back to you in a dream. No, I have never seen him before. Okay. But we'll see. Maybe he should be some person in the world. Let me see. So she said, I'll draw you You tell me if he's this, like that. She sat down, he started drawing. She first draw Ganesha. Player says, this? She said, no, not this. Then she drew Narada. Is it this? He said, no. Then she drew all Devas, Yakshas, Gandharvas, Kinnaras, Charanas and all that, some hundreds of them. She said, no. Then she drew Vasudeva. She had a look. Some resemblance is there. It's not this. Then she drew Balrama. She looked at it and no. Then she drew Krishna. She looked at it and said, there, but he's not so old. Then she drew Pradyumna. I said, yeah, but he's also old. Then she drew Aniruddha. She had one look at it, she blushed and she turned her face away. And she said, it is he. Then Chitralaya said, this it's okay. Now we know who it is. It is Aniruddha. She said, who is it? This is Aniruddha. Then she said, no. Then she told Usha, not a problem. You just wait, relax. I'll do something. She was a, if you need you should have a friend, means you should have a friend like Chitralekha. Okay. She's now solved, imagine, this girl was broken. She could have, for months together, she could have been weeping every day. Nobody would have known. She would have lost weight. She would have made a mess of her life. Everybody else's life. Big problem. Okay. She wouldn't have told what is the problem. All these things are there. People would have thought Jaundice daughter would have been attending. Nobody would have known that this girl has had a dream and she is pining like this. Chitralekha, she has told, Chitralekha has now found everything. She said, wait. She was a yogini. Narada's disciple, no. So she flew. She flew straight and she went straight to Aniruddha's palace. She was sleeping in the night. She kidnapped him without his knowledge. Flew right back to Antapura, directly into where this lady's room was, Usha's room, and put this fellow next to her in the bed and went away. So suddenly this Usha found Aniruddha next to her in her bed. So she slowly, with her lotus hands, she woke him up. That man woke up and thought, my God, this is a dream. Yeah. The most beautiful woman in the world next to him, waking him up slowly. He was sleeping there. So he thought it's a dream. So she managed to convince him this is not dream. This is real. The man said, my God. Then she thought, now there was nothing escaping. No, he was in her room. So she gave him all kinds of, best. She next 1 month went off like that. Dresses, food, fragrances, games, flowers, this, that. She kept him completely, they were lost in each other. Complete, nothing. And Chitralekha was keeping everybody at bay outside. She was going to come out. Something she used to do. Okay. What? Oh, time elapsed. Even she is the princess. You think the king will leave a princess unguarded? There are guards outside to ensure nobody, arbitrary people cannot come and meet, etc. And in Mughal times, etc., they used to keep eunuchs as guards. Okay, only the doctor used to be allowed. Some few people are allowed. Otherwise, nobody else is allowed inside princess room. Now, these guards are supposed to know if anything goes wrong. So the guards once in a while used to have a sight of this girl. Usha used to come out also once in a while to think that nothing is wrong. But soon they realized that things are not right. They realized that they knew this girl, she was looking so happy. They knew that she has found a guy. They knew. Okay, they know they are trained to read these signals. So they went straight to the king and said, mistake has happened. We don't know how it has happened, but we have been guarding her day and night. But we know, please, that she has broken her maiden vows and all that. There's some guy is there. It must have been going on for some time. We don't know. We are very sorry. You can do what you want to us, but it's our duty to tell you this has happened. A king said, my God, Banasuran, 1,000 arms. So immediately, he said no time should be lost. He called a small little army of his, immediately rushed to his daughter's house, broke open the door, smashed inside, and found these two people sitting playing some dice or something. And he handsome. First he was shocked by looking at this boy, handsome boy sitting there inside the bloody daughter's room. But he was handsome. Oh, what eyes, what hair, what laughing glances, it seems. His dress, his all that, all detailed described in Bhagavatam. And this man is, and that guy is, couldn't care less. He just saw Banasuran, saw through him, continued playing. She's also playing.
She also noticed it.
Yeah, but they are lost in each other. So at that time they didn't. Then this man attacked Banasuran immediately attacked. That guy said, okay, now he Aniruddha, Krishna's grandson, he also put up a fight. But 1,000 hands. So he used Nagapasham and bound him and captured him. Took him away. And she pleaded, she said nothing, no, you locked her up inside. Said, I'll deal with you later, and took her off, this fellow. Meanwhile, in Dwarka, this fellow has been missing for a month now. Okay. Normally, okay, young man, boy goes missing for 1 week, it's okay. I must have been doing something. 1 month, 2 months, like that is happening out there. So they were very worried. Krishna worried, Balrama worried, Pradyumna worried, everybody worried. Narada landed up. Hey, you look worried, he told Krishna. He said, yeah, no, you must be knowing why we are worried. We are worried. Aniruddha has not been seen. You don't know where he is. He disappeared one night, did not come back. If you know anything about him, if you can tell us. He said, yeah, that's what I've come to tell you. Aniruddha had actually been captured and is in the prison of Banasuran. So Krishna, what nonsense, but Banasuran is a Shiva Bhakta. What is he doing? Why is he? He said, no, I'll tell you, wait. Then he tells him the story. This is how it happened. He had a dream, Chitralega, drawing. Finally, she drew your drawing. She had one look at it and said, yes, but he's not so old. Narada told Krishna, and Balrama was sitting next to me. He had a good laugh, saying, "Arey bhai, now your time is over. Your grandson is now, time has come. Now you better stop acting as if you are the superstar in the cosmos." Okay, this girl has said that, old man, okay, uncle or something, whatever. Okay, Nanaji or something. So Krishna also laughed, etc. But the point was, this matter, this fellow is captured and is in the jail there. So they said, we'll launch an attack and all that. So Pradyumna, Krishna, etc., they launched an attack, Garuda, and all that. And we went there and Krishna actually cut off this guy Banasura's hands, etc. And then only Banasura realized this thing has come true. Then of course he happily gave away Usha in marriage to Aniruddha. And that is the story. Okay. But to come back to Naishadiyam, the verse says, it refers to Pradyumna's coming to that Shonitapura palace. That palace is, nobody can come to that palace. It's surrounded by a huge moat of fire, huge fire which kept burning perpetually, so that nobody can come near Shonitapura. But they come in Garuda. So Pradyumna directly comes to the palace in the Garuda. Like that, the way he directly came over the fire, in that manner, for Damayanti, into the palace of her heart or whatever, Nala, okay, Alankara, okay, Damayanti, the Garuda was her own youth, it seems, her own youth took love for Nala in a flash inside her heart. So her youth was compared to the Garuda there, which carried the love for Nala into her heart. Now, in Naishadam, the fact that between the two of them there is love is first communicated in this verse, in the sense that they both are getting little bit moved, but she is the first one who is completely affected. He is not yet accepted the fact that he is a Dhairyavan and stuff. So he is not, plenty of girls' messages come to him, not that way, but some more than others. He is a king. So, no, but the commentator in Naishadam says that in Indian tradition, the first indication of love has to come from the girl's side, it seems, not from the guy's side. That's the Shishtachara. And the Naishadha Charitam reflects that, he says, as well. I leave that thought to you. Har Namah Parvati Pataye. ஜானகீகாந்தஸ்மரணம்
जय जय राम रामा
கோபிகா ஜீவனஸ்மரணம்
गोविंदा गोविंदा
வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு
हर हरो हरा
ஸ்ரீ சத்குரு சுவாமினः
जय
ஸ்ரீ ஆஞ்சநேய சுவாமினः
जय